To welcome our Honorable Union Minister of Finance, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji. I request dignitaries to please take your seats on the dais. Namaskar and a very good morning, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. On behalf of Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I welcome you to this Samvad interaction on Viksit Bharat 2027 with Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Honorable Union Minister of Finance, Government of India. Honorable Minister, GCCI is the apex body of trade and industry in Gujarat. Established in 1949, proudly advocates for interests of over 2 lakh enterprises through its 200 business and trade associations and 10 regional chambers spread across the state. With moving ahead to this agenda, I humbly request Shri Ajay Bhai Patel, President GCCI, for his welcome address.
Honorable Union Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Chairman Ahmedabad branch of WIRC and ICI, Sri Aniket Bhai, Sunil Bhai, Office Bearer, Past President and Member of GCCI and WIRC of ICAI, friends and press and media. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is great honor to have Honorable Union Minister for the Finance, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, with us today. She is surely one of the most important persons in the Union Cabinet of our Honorable Prime Minister, sir. Honorable Madam, with the excellent knowledge of finance and with your great hard work and simplicity, you become our national favorite finance minister. Mission of We appreciate your support and encouragement to the activities of GCCI. We are grateful for your guidance and help to us during the crucial period of COVID pandemic. You have always been positive to the need of trade and industry of Gujarat. We are very much obliged by your positive approach. In fact, we all are proud to have you as a Union Finance Minister to make our nation reach the goal of Viksit Bharat by 2047. Madam, you have the record of presenting total 6 union budgets as a Union Finance Minister. Each budget presented by you takes a nearer to our goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Viksit Bharat. Each budget presented by you is the reflection of our Prime Minister mission of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Each budget has the vision of skill-based Bharat with Make in India as our focus. So many incentives given to the startups and MSME will help our entrepreneurs generate employment and make as a factory of the world. We admire the commitment of present government to convert crisis into opportunity. COVID-19 was a challenge for the entire world, but India converted this crisis into the mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat, focused and domestic development, and as a result, we come out stronger. ECLGS scheme launched to support MSME business proved a masterstroke. In the year 23-24 budget, the idea of Saptarishi for the Amrit Kal deserves hung compliments. We also admire our commitment to green growth, infrastructure development, promoting research and development, encouraging startups and MSMEs, ensuring agriculture's growth and farmers' welfare, as well as providing relief to the serried middle class. All budgets present by you reflect the commitment to prosperous and inclusive Bharat. We also admire our overall capital expenditure outlay on the infrastructure development, which have been increased by 33%. This is welcome move in the making India a 5 trillion economy and global economy powerhouse. Today we live in a different India, a new India, a India the world admires. And credit goes to none other than our beloved Prime Minister, Sir, and respected Home Minister, Sir, along with their capable team of honorable ministers. People of Gujarat have always shown total love and commitment to our Prime Minister vision of Viksit India. We all are fully prepared to execute the vision of Viksit Bharat and to hard work together to achieve this mission. Honorable Madam, we once again welcome you and we are eager to have your guidance on the path of Viksit India. I once again welcome you all. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat.
Thank you very much, Ajay sir. We are honored to have presence of Honorable Union Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji with us today. I would request President GCCI Shri Ajay Bhai Patel to kindly welcome Honorable Minister with a token of gratitude and respect. Honorable Madam, gifted artwork is made from well-known Patola as one of the finest and most intricate textile arts from Patan, a city of North Gujarat. It aligns with the vision of Honorable Prime Minister to encourage and empower the local artisans. I invite CA Shri Aniket Talati, Immediate Past President ICAI, CA Shri Sunil Sanghvi, Chairman ICAI Ahmedabad Branch, CA Shri Purushottam Khandelwal, Central Council Member, and CA Shri Sunit Shah, Secretary Ahmedabad Branch of WIRC of ICAI, to kindly welcome Honorable Union Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji. Thank you, sir. I invite CA Urvesh Shah, Director NABARD, and Shri Prerak Shah, CA Cell and Economic Cell, to kindly welcome Honorable Union Finance Minister. Thank you, everyone. Now I invite Immediate Past President ICAI, CA Shri Aniket Talati, for his address.
The very respected Honorable Union Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Madam, On behalf of the Fraternity of Chartered Accountants and on behalf of the Institute, Madam, we welcome you to Ahmedabad and thank you so much for gracing this joint program which is being organized by GCCI and ICI. The President of Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry and somebody who's been a beacon of light for the cooperative banking sector in Gujarat for so many years and has led from the front, and sir, you are also doing the same at the Chamber. Ajay Bhai Patel and the entire team of Pathik Bhai, Apurva Bhai, Prashant Bhai, the galaxy of past presidents of the Chamber. I think it's a relationship which ICI and Chamber has had for so many years, madam. We have conducted sessions on budget, on any economic change jointly together. And today I think we've reached the pinnacle when we have the Honorable Union Finance Minister addressing us and on the topic of Viksit Bharat at 2047. And we are also joined by our Central Council member Purushottam Khandelwalji, the chairman of this branch Sunil Sanghviji, Secretary Sunitji, the entire managing committee. And Madam, Chartered Accountants in Ahmedabad, I can tell you very proudly, Ahmedabad today is the second largest branch in the entire country in terms of Chartered Accountants. We have close to 15,000 Chartered Accountants in Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. And Madam, this speaks about the growth that this city and the state has seen, because the profession of Chartered Accountancy and the field of commerce generally develop when there is trade and commerce, and that we have been able to witness with the rise in students and members. Honorable audience, I have had the privilege to work with Madam for 2 years as Vice President and President of the Institute. And let me tell you that it was a privilege that on 1st July, thanks to Madam according her approval, because the CA course requires the approval of the central government, and she was generous enough to give us the approval, and on 1st July, with the august hands of the President of India, we launched the new course curriculum. And Madam, as we are almost 1 year through the new curriculum, I am delighted to inform that has received an overwhelming response in the student community. Our registrations for Chartered Accountancy today are the highest ever, and in fact, this has prompted the Institute to change something which we have been doing for 75 years. We always used to have exams in May and November, but going forward, Madam, we are now going to have 3 exams for foundation and intermediate, and this is to meet the growing demand of this Chartered Accountancy course. Madam, I had the privilege to interact with the Honorable Prime Minister here in GIFT City, where Sir had laid down the vision of how accounting firms of India can be global firms, and how India can be made, Madam, the accounting and outsourcing hub, financial hub, compliance hub for the globe. Friends, let me share with you that after that meeting, we proposed that in the IFSC Act, the definition of financial services hitherto only had insurance, banking, later on aircraft leasing, ship leasing, etc. were included. We made a request to the Council of the Institute that can accounting, bookkeeping, taxation and forensic services also be considered as a financial service, so that our Chartered Accountants can become a part of the growth story of GIFT City and in Gujarat. And I am delighted that under Ma'am's leadership and with the support of the Honorable Prime Minister and his vision, I think we got in January the amendment and the notification which was done. And today in India, it is one of the first financial service center to acknowledge the role of accountants and have accounting, bookkeeping, taxation service as a financial service. So Madam, thank you very much on behalf of entire Chartered Accountancy fraternity. And I can only assure you that we Chartered Accountants here will put in all our efforts to make sure that your vision, the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of making India a global accounting and taxation hub is fulfilled. And in GIFT City, we make sure that India becomes the global accounting hub, the global tax hub. And today, as in the IT sector, we do technology and software for the globe. Going forward, Madam, you will see our Chartered Accountants also becoming the flag bearers of accounting and global tax compliance from GIFT City here. It has been truly, Madam, a pleasure to have the opportunity to work with you. And I'm also delighted to share, Madam, that this new logo that we have of the next to the CA, which is the new CA logo, Madam, was launched last year. We earlier used to have, Madam, the green tick, which is synonymous with the audit that Chartered Accountants do on vouchers. But Madam, realizing the growing importance of the country India and the stature which Indians today receive, as Ajay Bhai very rightly mentioned, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, we all feel extremely proud to call ourselves Indian Chartered Accountants. And Madam, therefore, When one used to go to Australia, we would meet a Jack who would say, I'm CP Australia, or Alex would say, I'm a CP Ireland. But we were CAs. And now with this new logo, I think all of us can very proudly say that I'm CA India, Purushottam Khandelwal. We attach the brand of the country with our profession. And we have proudly put the tricolor on the logo, signifying the importance of the country. So Madam, finally, I would only say that the vision for Viksit Bharat, we are all eager to hear from you. But we have seen the past 10 years, the direct tax collection, the indirect tax collection. I think it's a huge compliment that all trade and business who have ensured that they pay, and of course chartered accountants who facilitate payment of GST and income tax, which has resulted in such a enormous growth. And I'm confident that going forward we will increase our participation, because finally I personally believe that for any country to become developed, we need a much stronger tax to GDP ratio, and all of us must participate in this growth story of India by making sure that we also do our responsibility. So Madam, as you lead, as the Honorable Prime Minister leads to make India Viksit Bharat, I think on behalf of trade and profession, I can only assure that we will also play our part and make sure that we see a Viksit Bharat in 2047. Once again, thank you very much, Madam, for gracing this occasion, and thank you GCCI for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you, Aniket sir. Honorable Madam Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji has been the Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs of the Government of India since 2019. She is an eminent economist and has ranked in the Forbes list of top most powerful women in the world for 5 consecutive years. She has led important portfolios such as defense, corporate affairs, and commerce and industry. She is the first woman full-time finance minister in the history. As India's finance minister, she faced the huge task of managing the country's economy and navigating economic reforms, particularly during the challenging times of the COVID pandemic. She represents Karnataka in the Rajya Sabha as the Honorable Member of Parliament since 2016. Honorable Minister has obtained a Master of Arts degree in Economics and MPhil from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Her journey from Tamil Nadu to becoming the first woman to serve as India's finance minister is a story of relentless ambition, unwavering dedication, and strong leadership. With this, I feel honored to invite Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji for a keynote address. Please welcome Honorable Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji with a huge round of applause.
Good morning, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Institute of Chartered Accountants, who together have organized this program. I think the broader idea was to talk on Viksit Bharat 2047. And we're also in an election context, or circumstances now are more in an election mode. So when we talk about the economy, or when we are talking about what Honorable Prime Minister is aiming to do towards reaching 2047 by making India a developed country, we have to put it in today's context of talking at a time when elections are happening. Elections are happening for the Lok Sabha, not just the state government or anything. There are some states which are also going for state assembly elections. But I would like to give a little value addition to the topic and bring in the context of Gujarat into what we are likely to talk. I'll speak for some time, and of course I think I always pay a lot of attention and value to interaction with the invited audience. and I'm glad the organizers have given some place for interaction as well. So I'd probably give more time for that and less time for a monologue. But monologue is necessary, so I will do it. It's become a context-setting ritual to talk about how India was when Honorable Prime Minister Modi took charge in 2014. What was our economy like? I'm not going to go into details, but you know that even then the pressure on Honorable Prime Minister was to release a white paper, to very clearly show how bad the situation is and what it would take to restore some kind of a balance in the economy. And thankfully, the Prime Minister chose not to do it at that time, because as you're all people in business, you know, there's already clear indication that the economy is not doing well. Globally, we've been named as a fragile 5 economy. Inflation was in double digits, and not just 1 month, 22 months continuously it was in double digit. And it was common knowledge among people who were watching businesses that many of our own Indian businesses were taking their balance sheet abroad. It is one thing for businesses also to go set up some business somewhere else or keep their household trust outside because they want some greater concessions or whatever. But if your balance sheet itself is now going to be largely located elsewhere, it doesn't augur well for the economy. So factors which showed that the economy was not in good health were there actually were in our face. So there is no way in which you are going to turn that mood to become more positive by releasing a white paper. Sentiment is important as much as it is important to keep hope alive. By releasing that white paper, you would have only become more negative, more pessimistic, more worrying about the economy. So, rightly the PM took a call not to release any white paper, but get going with the work. Now, after 10 years, he thought it fit, therefore, for the records in the Parliament and for the future generations to know what was the state of our economy and from where, what kind of effort at various levels it required for the economy to come out. So, I just touch that matter and leave it there. Inflation, food inflation, fragile economy, manufacturing come down distinctly, FDI going out of the country, Indian businesses themselves wanting to get out, and even worse was the level of corruption which had come into every sector. So broadly, this was the picture in 2014 when Honorable Prime Minister took charge. After which, steadily, and the worst thing, of course, I didn't explain that one term, I don't need to explain, I'll mention it. Double balance sheet, twin balance sheet problem, where companies' balance sheets were in doldrums, banks' balance sheet were in doldrums, and as a result, this wouldn't service that, that wouldn't service the industry. It was a deadlock kind of a situation. They didn't have money to lend anymore. They didn't have money to repay their debts. So it wasn't such a glorious situation, but matter of fact, it was a twin balance sheet problem. So large reasons, or very clear, distinct reasons, all of which put together made the Indian economy look very vulnerable. It didn't look it was possible to restore. Okay. 5 years of efforts, I'm not getting into efforts of correction, course correction, but one such a thing will tell you how and what levels of intervention, policy intervention, made it possible for the economy to come back. That today, I'm just leapfrogging to 24, where the Reserve Bank says the twin balance sheet problem is no longer a problem, it's an advantage. twin balance sheet advantage. It's just leapfrogging there. But what would it have taken for getting our systems that far? Our director from NABARD was telling me briefly that in Mumbai there was a training in which Harvard Business School had come and did a lot of training. It was interesting, it was useful, which is nice to hear. But it was a private conversation, now I'm putting it forward to you. I was eager to say, I'm glad you had the training, but it is a truth that in terms of the way in which India has restored its economy, and more particularly its banks, between 14 and now, is actually a lesson for Harvard Business School. And I'm not saying it because we have now come to that level where our banks are in a position to be able to stand up and say profit making, we can go to the market and raise money for our developmental requirements, we give better dividend to the government, reasons to feel happy about. But even as we did this, both the Reserve Bank of India and Government of India were continuously conscious of any fragile situation anywhere, so that not even a small finance bank or a NBFC or any bank really get to the brink and are in the danger of falling away. Continuously monitoring it so that we don't have a situation of any bank collapse. Even as we are doing all this to restore banks. But post-COVID, look what happened in the Silicon Valley. One of the most important banks which had the trust and faith of all the startups there just collapsed. Nobody knew what's happened. And it was towards the weekend. So the United States government came up with some quick solution because they wouldn't have also afforded to have to face the fallout. So they came up with solutions. So by Monday morning, there was not a run in the bank. People didn't come and say, give me my money back, give my money back. Whoever wanted it, got it because quick firefighting happened by the US government. But the spillover effect, the contagion, was there that a big bank like UBS had to be finally rescued by the government of Switzerland itself. So even post-COVID, managing banks, keeping them healthy, ensuring that they don't collapse, are still a raw game in the West. Whereas we have, although we started with a fragile situation, twin balance sheet problem situation, we managed that. And where there were troubles in one or two banks like the PMZ or Yes Bank, we came up with quick resolutions. So what the point that I'm trying to highlight here is, it's not as if we've given a solution, we'll have to walk that path and come to reach that solution so that our banks will be safe. It's also continuously, during the time of this resolution working out, continuously monitoring it and keeping ready every arsenal so that you will be able to attend them. This example of how India's banks, the banking ecosystem, the environment, and if I may add, just around 2017, 18, 19, did the mergers of banks happen. In fact, in 19, they were still in the process of adjusting with each other. One small bank, one big bank, one North Indian bank, one South Indian bank, one bank from the West taking over from East. All that happened. And the cultures of the banks had issues and they had to settle down without causing discomfort to the clients. I give it and I really give a big applause to the banks for having managed all that without customers feeling we are out of sync, we don't know what's happening in the bank. They attended to the customers and took care of this merger. So ours was not a transition easy. Mergers and the related problems, liquidity problem of 2019, COVID 2020, and equally fragile economy, looking at restoring it. I've taken a bit longer time on this only to tell you that if this is what is required for managing and restoring just one sector, the financial sector, and that to the bank, you can imagine the work which he had to do. And the Prime Minister's direct review happening for each one of them, MSMEs, space sector, coal sector, another big story of how a very critical sector of India was completely in a mess. Supreme Court had rejected 122 of the mines which were given. They had to be re-tendered, the whole process had to be redone, and with transparency. And equally, after having taken the bid, successful bidders had to get going with digging the coal out. Not sit on it because I've got my license, I'll do it anytime. No, we needed the coal, we needed power to be generated. And equally, looking at renewable energy sector. Gujarat has one of the biggest ones in Kutch. Rajasthan in Jodhpur and Barmer has one of the biggest parks. And so restoring the Indian economy in each one of the sectors and now making sure that India stands out not just in support of the service sector, which contributes more than 62% to our GDP, but to get back to our manufacturing sector, get our manufacturing to come out and contribute more with a sense of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We just can't go on importing things. What we need, we should be in a position to produce. Where we have the skills, where we have the capabilities, we should. So for that, what can we do? And equally, I say this with a sense of pride that Honorable Prime Minister had the vision to say even as we are restoring some of our production, manufacturing, we should look at newer areas where we can, as India, give the lead for the globe. Whether it is treatment of rare earths, whether you're looking at green, sustainable ways of producing power, green ammonia, or whether you're looking at newer, higher chemistry, battery, storage. Give them incentive and make sure that they will come and manufacture in India so that you generate jobs, but equally be the leaders for the world in production of these kind of new age products. So, Viksit Bharat is not a high-fly dream. It is an achievable goal. Otherwise, it is not as if he's given us a dream, we'll see when we can realize it. No. Pegging it to 2047 is not because it's 100 years of India's independence. But today we are in a position where with another 25 years of good, solid sabka prayas, we'll be able to reach it. It is an attainable goal. And that's where I want to give that little twist which I said at the beginning. The role of Gujarat in that. And I just want to highlight some of the things which have happened recently in Gujarat, which tell you that you already have the basis for it. It's one thing, I'm grateful for Aniket, the chartered accountant, and also the president of the ICA till recently, to highlight how the number of chartered accountant professionals are the second highest in India. And he also explained as to why it is so. Because where there is business, where there is trade, commerce, activity happening, there will be more chartered accountants. And how, therefore, it was important for the chartered accountants to get into the International Financial Services Center, which is the GIFT City. In manufacturing, Gujarat has shown remarkable alertness in the last 10, 12 years. Look at the kind of industries which are coming and setting up business here. It was a big legendary story around 12, 13, 14 to talk about how from West Bengal, Nano came and set up business in Sanand. We all thought, oh wow, that is how a state should be receptive, ready, and extend policy support for industries to come and not languish in a place where the governments are not responding. And since Gujarat government was ready to give that kind of a facility, they came. But that streak of Gujarat continues even today. Otherwise, would you have semiconductor being set up, manufacturing being set up in Gujarat? That streak of attract business, bring investments, make possible manufacturing in Gujarat with all support given, not one unit, one in Dholera, the other one in Sanand. So, semiconductor manufacturing for India comes the first step in Gujarat. So you're continuing that, being ready and like a magnet attract investment for manufacturing. So if 2047 we need to have services grow, they are doing well even now. If we need to have manufacturing doing well, Gujarat has that policy plus government plus the ecosystem ready for it, and your contribution to make India a manufacturing hub, not only for itself, but also to export, is going to be critical. So if I took that example, the second I want to highlight, and I'll give more for manufacturing just so that, I'm sure you know it, but I just want to take this opportunity to highlight it. I said 62% or more is getting contributed by the service sector to the Indian GDP. IFSC is going to be a big gateway for it to grow. Look at what is present in IFSC today. 3 exchanges including the International Bullion Exchange, 25 banks including 9 foreign banks, 26 aircraft lessors, 80 fund managers, 8 ship leasing entities, 50 professional service providers, 40 fintech entities, more than 78 fund management entities who have registered, and 76 fund AIFs have been launched with a total targeted corpus of $20 billion US. Tech giants like Capgemini and Google are setting up business there. Wipro has received approval to set up fintech center there in IFSC. Now therefore, a world-class financial services center in Gujarat and very close to Ahmedabad is just the key for India to reach that kind of a global markets, for attracting more investment to come into India, for attracting more operations which are financial operations can happen here, and all the growing number of chartered accountants therefore being present there is not just for a signal saying chartered accountants are also part of the financial services. Who doesn't know that? But you are there now to leverage this great cream which is coming there to the gift city. And it is that cream which has to be very nicely facilitated through the chartered accountants to benefit India in return. So that financial services center in a theoretical sense is not India. It's a global financial hub located in India. And it is attracting so many different key strategic operators to come there. But who is going to make sure that that accrues benefit for India itself? I would think the chartered accountants have a business to do that. I also said Gujarat can play a very critical role in terms of manufacturing itself. You attracted the semiconductor manufacturing. Look at where we are. If under the PLI, we have given a lot of support for industry, total capital which is coming in 28% of it is attracted by Gujarat. Because of PLI, total capital which is coming in for setting up businesses for manufacturing in India, 28% of them come to Gujarat. Gujarat has been the third highest recipient of FDI in manufacturing sector, and that amounts to $34.18 billion in the last 5 years alone. In March 2024, 5 greenfield bulk drug plants and 2 greenfield manufacturing plants for medical devices in Gujarat with PLI assistance have been inaugurated by the Union Health Minister. 29 companies covered by the PLI are coming for food processing industries to Gujarat. PM Mitra Mega Textile Park is being set up in Navsari. And in the country there are only 7. One is getting set up in Gujarat. You know, Honorable Prime Minister has been talking about 5 different Fs which govern the textile industry: farm, fiber, and goes till foreign. So that is actually getting realized, and the entire textile ecosystem, Navsari and Surat stand out, will now get a big boost because of this. I spoke about the Dholera in Gujarat, semiconductor. 91,000 crores are expected to be invested there. 7,600 crores for the ATMP, that is the semiconductor testing and packaging side of the story, which is the micron bit. 7,600 being set up in Sanand. Again, 22,516 crores of rupees for micron unit has been approved by the Union Cabinet. In Vadodara, Airbus C295 aircraft manufacturing facility was already inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister in October 2020. So if you're really talking about manufacturing, look at the high-end futuristic industries which are coming in and setting up business. Go a bit further. The InSpace, which is the biggest national space promotion on authorization group, the space, the policy support which has been given has brought in a lot of FDI into space sector. The testing and design lab for it is being set up in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad. So InSpace's space system design lab is also here. So it's not just the high-tech industry, futuristic industry, but labs which are required for constant research support for them are also being established here. Established here, where India's 1.4 billion, just 5% of that population lives here. And India's landmass, just 6% of landmass is here. So I want to highlight the proportionality. If all these are futuristic and technology driven, you also have manufacturing facility for certified drugs, the US FDA certified drugs. 130 of them are getting manufactured in Gujarat, probably in Ahmedabad and Vadodara. So you're becoming a big pharmaceutical hub. You're also a major player in chemical sector. 62% of all countries' petrochemical production happens in Gujarat. 6% land mass, I said. And 5% of the population of the entire country, I said. I'm purposely highlighting that you manufacture 62% of the country's petrochemical production. 35% of all chemical production of this country. 70% of marine salt, 20% of caustic soda, and 90% of all soda ash production. Just highlighting the proportionality in terms of the landmass, population, and the manufacturing sector contribution. So I would think it's time for Gujarat to perceive itself, and this is, pardon me, I'm getting into a slightly delicate and sometimes probably even a controversial Gujarat is not a trader and a business hub. Popular perception is Gujarat, oh, all of them do business. All of them are in stock markets. They're all good traders. Right? I don't believe it anymore. You're all manufacturers. You're into high-tech manufacturing. You're into chemical manufacturing. You're into fintech. I don't even want to say you're into chartered accountancy. Obviously you will be. So look at that aspect of what you have never been, but you have already got it with you, at least in perception. That's why I said this is a very controversial area to speak about. I can always be, I'm walking on minefields, I can trip and fall. But no, you're no longer to be perceived as just those great stock market operators, good chartered accountants, solid businessmen. No, you're now great manufacturers. You're now operating great chemical industries. And even better, the global financial hub is becoming unique. Other financial hubs are only dealing with, big listed companies. But you're dealing with ship leasing, aircraft leasing, bullion exchange, and with a very clear intent that the front door is open for everybody to come in. The back door is only in your hands. And the back door, not the negative back door, but the usual back door where घर के अंदर उसका बेनिफिट ले आने के लिए आप ही के हाथ में चाबी है. So my monologue won't continue any further. I'll sit down. You can always have an interaction. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your inspirational words. With moving ahead today's program, I would request Shri Prashant Patel, Honorable Secretary Regional, to moderate the interactive session.
Thank you. Ma'am, I really appreciate your idea to give more time for interaction with the participants. And today, really, you given a new identity to Gujarat and Gujaratis. So I thank you for that. So now I request participants to, if you have some questions, you can definitely ask. But please keep it related to the subject. Thank you. Ma'am, can we just open? Thank you.
As you say very well, that MSME is the backbone of this country, and employment and everything is created by MSMEs. So, Madam, one request was that we made again and again. The definition of MSME, 50 crores capex and 250 crores turnover, is very high, where these MSMEs are not having this much investment. So I think it should be reduced to 20 CR, 200 crores turnover. Then the MSME will get the benefit to grow. Otherwise, what will happen? Big companies are making 4 MSMEs of 250 crores each. They break the turnover and they get the benefits of it. So I think this is one area where MSME is not being given benefit by the banks or by the other industries.
I'll take that as a suggestion, and it will have to be after the new government comes in place that we can again consult all those who are interested in the field and then take a call. Because in between around 1920, we had done a lot of changes based on industry's request. But now I can understand the problem that you're facing as a consequence. But of course, certainly after the government comes in, we can have a very tailored discussion on this.
Madam, I think you narrated us very beautifully on the way to Viksit Bharat 2047. It was really wonderful talk, Madam, but as you rightly said that Gujarat jumped into manufacturing segment before 30 years. We started manufacturing on a small MSME, as a MSME, and the tenure of last 10 years, new businesses are doing wonder. You rightly said the new businesses are really coming to Gujarat, but I am talking about the old businesses. Those have already grown, but now we are facing problem. Our multinational companies are looking India as an opportunity for the next destination from China. And we prepared ourselves on call before 5 years for making India. A lot of company invested a lot of money, but it's not a big way, but still mid, not as MSME, but in between, 200 crores to 5,000 crores. They are really facing problem against China because they are dumping, reducing the price. They don't see their balancing. They do not have any cost. And they increase, the government is supporting because to avoid the unrest in China, they are supporting by increasing the drawbacks and various kind of incentives. And we are on the way that manufacturers should not depend on the incentive. And we were also supporting, but since last 1 year, textile segments, chemical segments, and lot other manufacturing segments, engineering segments are facing a huge problem across India. If you can really, because we are facing, for exports, we are facing new problems of the shipping cost, insurance cost. 800% insurance cost has increased. Shipping cost has increased to 300%. I think this is a part-time problem. We understood, but we are really facing, manufacturing segment is really facing problem. So for your new budget, if you can look for at least for 2-3 years. So for Viksit Bharat 2047, and Gujarat is really being a manufacturing hub, which you rightly said, we will do wonder. So please, look into it.
Thank you for highlighting that issue. I would actually ask you, see, we are moving towards newer and newer ways of supporting industry. Just not the old tried and tested ways, there can always be newer ways of doing it. Because the problems are also newer problems, arising out of newer situations. Eventually there may be the cost increase problem which has always been there for industry. But in order to address issues arising out of newer situations, which you yourself recognize that it may be temporary, it may be passing, but it seems like protracted. It's not staying for just 2 months, it's continuing. Some problems of the war are now for 2 years continuing. So you may want to indicate to us by sending a written kind of a suggestion, talking to your friends and pals, as to what specific steps if government takes, it will directly benefit you, it will directly mean something to you, rather than leaving it for us and for the bureaucrats to think. Do send us a
Respected ma'am, I'm CA Dr. Ranjini Chopsy, immediate past chairperson at Ahmedabad branch. Ma'am, gold prices have been burning since last 3 months and are almost 16% up So how do you foresee the impact of the burning gold prices on the Indian economy?
There are very few women in the audience, and I don't want to. And I'm a woman, but I don't know whether I should answer as a finance minister or as a woman. Because in India, gold has a different priority when it comes to women, when it comes to businesses and so on. Yes, gold is hitting the roof in terms of prices. So is it an investment proposition or is it your jewelry requirement? So, but I think today, in fact last 1 week, there are a lot of industry observers, central bank observers writing how across the world, central banks are now buying gold. They are not keeping dollar alone, US dollar alone. They are buying gold to make sure that they have worthy backup, and gold is the only one which continues to be a worthy backup. Indian Reserve Bank also is. So with all the uncertainties also, 2-3 wars going on simultaneously, high sea movement of ships are becoming more expensive. You spoke about insurance. So I would think we'll have to just wait and watch. It's not, I may not be able to say that tomorrow it's going to come down or next month it's going to come down. The global uncertainties make people rely on gold more than any other currency. That's the problem. Yeah, I saw one young... How is he here? Is he one of your chartered accountants? Did he qualify when he was 8 years old? Possible. No, he probably has broken the barrier. Yes, you wanted to ask some question?
Yeah.
Give the mic, please.
Ma'am, I'm Avish Talak in grade 7. Ma'am, I have the question. Ma'am, I have the question that which economic system is the best, communism, socialism or capitalism?
You want me to answer? Is there one communist here? Is there one socialist here? They're all wealth creators. Yeah? You need, see, it is capitalism which historically has proven successful in removal of poverty, in creation of wealth. But because today there is a feeling that unbridled capitalism can also be not good. So you need to have capitalism, which is what I'm grateful that in India, particularly under Prime Minister Modi, we understand where capitalism will have to temper down a bit so that the communities will benefit, not just that one person. Similarly, like Gandhi's trusteeship, again Mahatma Gandhi from Gujarat, trusteeship, is that possible? Is it going to be all left for the trust? Maybe not. Every individual wants to also, for the mehnat that he puts, wants to earn profit. So, I don't know, I'm sure they'll have, each one of them will have a view, but I think capitalism with democracy and capitalism which is conscious of its society would be a good solution for all of us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hey, but wait a minute. What did you say? Class 8?
Grade 7.
Class 7? He might write a manual on isms of the world. All the very best.
Due to time constraint, now we have to stop here. And last one question from the dais we have.
No, but there are two people who have been putting up their hands. At least give it. And he's been standing for a very long time. Do give him.
Welcome, madam.
Welcome.
My name is Viksit Bharat and I am a Punjabi suit manufacturer and I am supplying Punjabi suit to each and every town of Tamil Nadu. the other countries also. I have a plot in CH, Special Economic Zone, which is built in Ahmedabad. And I could not create a factory because of some international export problem. Last Diwali, I was kidnapped in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur by Pakistani Muslim, to whom I was supplying to exporting Punjabi suits and kurtis. And madam, I have some finance problem and some hurdles from passes there. Especially economic zone and GIDC, Gujarat International Development Corporation. Some they are taking charging very heavy penalties, interest and some other charge. I cannot build factory. My mother was stitching garments about 45 years ago. I was reading this book. I have tried so many times to set up a factory, but your officers of passage and GIDC are putting hurdles to
No, please send me your representation.
Sir,
Let me see
please
what
come to question only. Please, thank you.
Question only.
Sure, sure.
Yes, yes, please.
Myself.
Excuse me.
Chartered.
Just stick to the question only. So, yeah.
Vaibhav Shah, Chartered Accountant. We are facing, I am in a business of foreign exchange, FFMC license we have. In Gujarat, we are facing a lots of issues from the Reserve Bank of India regarding the RBI license renewals and new licenses. We have in 2022 around 200 plus licenses in Gujarat only. Nowadays only 64 licenses in Gujarat. So as RBI is saying that we have to comply with all the things, we are presenting to RBI and we are trying to solve the problems. But last 6 months we are asking for the meeting with the RBI for the new compliances and new master directions. But we are not getting any appointment with the RBI for that one. And lots of money changers are facing the problems for that one. So just take a note of that.
All right.
Ma'am, can we end this? Yeah. Now I request all participants, if you have some question or anything, please submit here and we will forward it to the madam. So thank you.
After the successful merger of the nationalized bank, is there any plan for the merger of the cooperative banks?
I can always take cover saying elections are on, I won't reply. There's nothing in front of me now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Madam, for your kind introduction. I would request Shri Apurva Shah, Honorary Secretary, Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to conclude today's session with a vote of thanks.
Namaskar, ma'am. Honorable Union Minister, respected Nirmala Sitharaman ji, GCCI President Shri Ajay Patel, WIRC Ahmedabad Branch Chairman CA Shri Sunil Sanghvi ji, office bearers, members of GCCI, guests, WIRC Ahmedabad Branch members, invited guests, press and media, ladies and gentlemen. We express a deep heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Union Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman for a kind presence here at GCCI, for excellent information and motivation provided about our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Gujarat has always remained in the forefront, and we acknowledge the comments given by you and the motivation for the 6% and the 5%. We shall leave a long note for us as members of GCCI. On behalf of GCCI, we promise that we will strive our best to motivate our members, align ourselves with the Viksit Bharat Policy 2047. Today's meeting has been an opportunity and a privilege to have respected Nirmala ji. We cherish the opportunity and remain grateful to the Honorable Minister Madam, and shall not forget the positive backdoor at all times. We are also thankful to WIRC Ahmedabad branch for joining hands in this occasion and organizing the event, which we do every year. We're looking forward to every year doing the events together. We also thank the media who's always been there and for the support for the event. Thanking you all once again. Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat. Jai Hind.
Please be seated for a while. Honorable Minister Madam, we have a special memory of you, of your good self, which we would like to share with you. I would request respected office bearers of Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry to kindly present this memory to you.